everyone, and welcome back to the Slay to Success talk show. This is your host, your queen, Rochelle Hemingway, and I am the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. Y'all know what time it is here. This business, if you will, is to help empower women with strategies who are working in executive leadership roles or women who are transitioning from a long career to step up into their most authentic personal brand to gain lucrative opportunities. And so tonight, y'all, I have a very special guest with us, and we're going to bring her onto the stage here in a little bit. So, the purpose of this talk show, again, is to highlight men and women who are living a life of service on their own terms and using the slave philosophies to positively impact the world. And you know what the word slay means. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It's also an acronym, y'all. S, stay ready, be ready. L, lead out loud. A sense of community, a sense of family. And Y, you are built to last. And so before we get started, we will start looking at all the things that are happening. Okay. These are all the ins and outs of Slay to Success, which is a lot, y'all. But I absolutely love the way that this is building out. So go ahead and scan the QR code there and save it to your favorites. Okay, because what happens is when you scan it, it kind of disappears. And then you're like, well, what is Rochelle doing? What's Slay to Success doing? And there you can get all the information. You can subscribe to the weekly email list. I have events that are happening. It's a whole thing. Okay, so if you are coming onto the show and you have comments, I will see them. So make sure that you are putting in the comments when you come to the page. And then we will make sure that we acknowledge you and making sure that we know that you're part of this community too, because you're here all the time. And I appreciate the love. I appreciate your support as we continue to have these conversations. So tonight, y'all, I have my retired Air Force sister, Sass, is in the building. Okay. Now, Sass was born and raised in Germany. And after she graduated from school, she came to the United States. She has been married to her forever boyfriend. His name is James, y'all. All right. If you go to her Facebook page, you'll see they are forever, forever, forever. And they have been married for 33 years. And they have an incredible 22-year-old son who's grown, like she says, to be such a great human being. Now, Sass served in the United States Air Force for 26 years, and she enjoyed several different career fields. She was security forces. She was a military training instructor. She went to Airman Leadership School as a commandant and a group superintendent for the Force Support Squadron, which we will talk in length for those that are not quite sure about the Air Force lingo. Now, at her first base, she gave up her German citizenship and she became a naturalized American citizen. Her and her husband are mostly retired, doing whatever they want, okay? And they're working in their business whenever they want without punching a clock. All right, it's such an inspiration. They started J&S Home Repairs business in 2009, and she has a health and wellness business alongside her personal training. Sass has been a personal trainer for almost 30 years or approximately 30 years, and she incorporates health, wellness, and nutrition into her business in 2017. She enjoys life, traveling, living out adventures and hobbies while serving others where they need. Over the years, she has done a million and one things. AETC Marathon Team, which is Air Education Training Command, bench press competition. She's been a coaching for high school track field and cross country, a substitute teacher for both high school and elementary. She's tutored middle school. She's been a Sunday school teacher. She has done a plethora of things. So thank you so much, Misty, for being here tonight. Misty was on one of my previous shows. So if you have not watched that episode, go back to YouTube, all right, and watch that episode because absolutely amazing. And she dropped a lot of gems. So thank you so much, Misty, for being here tonight as well. So put your hands together for Sass as I have her come onto the stage. Hi, Sass.
Hi. So excited to be here.
I know. Listen. I remember when we first met and we were on Zoom calls, and we met through Marianne, who's also been on the show, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
And
She's awesome.
she's awesome. And when I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, the energy. It was just absolutely like I was already gravitating to your energy. And I was like, man. So when I was thinking about people to be on the show, I have a long list, y'all. Okay. If you want to be on the show, you can reach out to me, but I do have a long list of other individuals that, and Sass is one of them because of our common interests. We have like a lot of things that we really resonate with us. So, Sass, although I already introduced you, so tell the people, a little bit more about who you and what you do and all that good stuff.
Oh, goodness. Mostly, I would just say I'm kind of everyone's hype girl. I am huge on mindset and the belief that everyone, like, you can win in your space. And I love that Rochelle does this for just us as humans at large, because I don't know how many of you are stepping from the military or planning to or recently did, or you're just trying to find your place in any transition. It is finding who we are, because sometimes when we take that next step, one, that's a hard step.
Yeah.
And two, it is the navigating, and those who are working through it, y'all, I promise you, we do not have it all together. We do not have it figured out. I was telling Rochelle, like every day, I just try to bring my best to that day. But even from day to day, the best for that day, even 2 days never look alike. Not even the best from some days is really an epically best, but it's the best you got for that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really is. It's like you wake up, things are different, from one day to the next.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, am I really supposed to be doing this? Or am I supposed to be doing something else? And you kind of go back and forth in this, like roller coaster journey, if you will. So you served for 26 years in the United States Air Force, and I always say that, So tell me, from the transition, maybe like a year after you transition, were there any feelings or any thoughts that came to your mind? Like, you went through TAPS. How was that for you? And then you retired, and then what?
Okay. Wow. Okay. So a lot goes on.
Mm,
26 years is a long time. That is a big chunk of your life. So by that time, when I was retiring, I was 46 and spent 26 years in. So, I had 20 years of life, and then I came to the Air Force, and then 26 years of my life. And really, like, the biggest piece was military. And we define ourselves so much by that. You're going one meeting to the next, another career field, and everywhere you go, we were talking about that. There's that induction, from basic training to tech school to your career field. And I had 6 different career fields, and everything is different. Every base, every commander has their isms. And so you get lost from the, you walk out of one meeting to have scheduled 13 other meetings and 15 more extra duties on your plate. And so then when it's time to retire, you're like, who am I now outside of 50 meetings and 18 extra career fields and all these extra tasks? And so that first year, I did all the things. You go to TAPS and they make you start your LinkedIn. They have you create a LinkedIn account if you don't already have one. I literally have not touched it since they made us create it in TAPS. So you will find me on LinkedIn, but it's a created account in TAPS that I never touched. So there's that.
Actually, Sass, I went to go find you and you were not there. So I don't know if they just dropped your profile.
And they're like, look, this chick ain't using it. She's kicked out, man. This party is not for her. I did have a LinkedIn, but I did all the things that they painted in that pretty little box.
Yeah.
That, the resumes, they have you do a resume and practice interviews with each other in class. And I did all those things. So then I retired and I did the resumes, the interviews. I was substitute teacher, coach track and field, cross country, all these things that fit in their little TAPS briefing outline. But I wasn't finding me. I didn't know what I wanted, but I sure knew what I didn't want. I didn't want to punch a clock. I didn't want to count to Friday. I didn't want to dread Mondays. I didn't want to have only 2 weeks of vacation. Like, I knew what I did not want.
Yeah.
And it just didn't fit into the TAPS box.
Exactly. You're like where I was. It was like, well, I definitely need to figure this out. I want to be free spirit. I want to kind of like look and explore. I want to know what's been going on while I was serving for so long, right? And then you said, okay, well, I don't want all these things, right? And then how'd you get to like figure out what did you want? Like how did that kind of go for you?
Wow. So I think that started where I've been a certified personal trainer since I was a little airman at Kirtland Air Force Base, early 20s, and now I'm 53. So about 30 years. And then in 2017, I added health, wellness, nutrition, just different layers to coaching, just to kind of build up that toolbox.
Yeah.
Especially when you realize fitness and nutrition are epically different. Fitness moves your body, gives you mobility, gives you balance. It does great things, but it can't make you healthy like nutrition. Nutrition is 80% of the bubble, and then fitness is like 20% of the bubble.
Yeah.
So to incorporate all that, and that's just kind of my love language, especially being in my 50s. And, you start seeing it creep in the 40s, and you see all these memes that they hurt my heart when people are like, the reality of 40, you get up fast and all your check engine lights come on, or, and people talk like all these things, feeling horrible and feeling like I need a nap at 3:00. They make you think that's normal. Just because it's common doesn't mean it should be. So I am here to scream from the rooftops that 53 is the new 35. And I am on a mission to let people know, like, I don't care if you're starting at 30 or at 80, you get to start with you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So as everyone knows, all right, I'm so into the fitness, health, and wellness because it is true. And you said, our bodies start changing, so lots of things are happening when you are transitioning. First, from a long career, first your age, right? You start feeling things. You start wondering, do I have the right mindset? Is this body, supposed to be doing whatever it's doing? And then you're having to make decisions, right, on what should I be doing with my life, which are going to all play a toll on you. And, I got a couple of ladies who just dropped in. So Chevy and Latricia, welcome to the show tonight, Queens.
Hi, ladies.
And so, I know they're all the ladies that are showing up in the comments are big into health and wellness, fitness, being a part of their everyday life. So as we're talking through that, like, what are your main tips of advice for someone who's like starting out at our age and it's like, I don't even know what to do? From a personal trainer, what do you advise your clients?
So clients from the beginning, one, we need to figure out, like you said, and everybody's starting from a different place. Just because you are in your 40s or 50s doesn't mean you're starting from zero. You do get up every day. You function every day. So it is addressing what are your expectations and what are you willing to do? Because sometimes people have this insane vision of, I want to do this, 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 and this. Yeah. But I'm not willing to give up this, 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 and this. Well, then your expectations and what you're willing to put into it, they don't match. So with the information that you're giving me, if you're willing to do these things, then this is what we can build on, and then maybe change your mind, because mindset is going to be huge. They just haven't maybe seen it in themselves. So it's my job to see it in them until they do.
Yeah.
And it's little things. If you are huge on I get up and have coffee, and usually by the end of the day, I've had almost a pot of coffee. Like, what can we do to just like, can we dial that back a little bit? Can we bring in some water? Or when you first get up in the morning, can we have like a really great morning start? Like, when you get up, can you have 8 ounces of water? Can you stretch a little bit? Can you read and just be quiet, pray, meditate, whatever your focus is going to be for that day before you grab a phone, before you grab coffee? Can we put you in the right place to start your day so that you can win?
Yeah. So I like the whole concept of you helping them to find what works best for them. Because let's just be honest, y'all. Self-care out here is like these buzzwords, and it almost seems as if you have to be doing what everyone else is doing to fulfill your self-care needs. I don't know why that's happening, but it is. Like, so if you don't particularly go and get your nails done, and that's something that you just don't do, but you see somebody else doing it and you're like, well, let me just go get my nails done. You're probably not going to stick to that, because that's not something that you consider to be. You're just watching somebody else doing something. So I like the whole thing of, finding what works best for you. And that's something that you can make a commitment to and you can stick with. Right. So that's definitely a great tip. What else would you suggest?
Finding what you have kind of tucked away and put on a shelf. Because there's this story I love where there's this old guy, they're all at like this fishing hole, and he's kind of leaning up against a tree and he's fishing. He's watching this kid, and the kid rings a good fish and he puts it in his bucket. And he rings another good fish and he puts it in his bucket. And the old guy's like watching, he's like, this kid's really got it going on. And the boy rings this big old whopper, almost bigger than him. He's fighting this pole with everything he's got. And he brings this fish in and he throws it back. And the guy's like, boy, what are you doing? That was a good fish. He's like, but it doesn't fit in my bucket. And I think we do that to ourselves. We take our little dreams, and now because it doesn't fit in whatever bucket, well, I'm 46, it's too late. I'm 53, it's too late. Well, I just retired and the expectation is I go back and work for the government. We have made our bucket so small that we're throwing away the really good fish.
Ooh, that's ooh.
So we need to get a bigger bucket, or just say, you know what? I don't even need a bucket. Sling that fish over your shoulder and get rolling.
Yeah, I love that. I just, only because, we both are walking the same journey, if you will. We're all at different points in our journey, but we're walking this walk. And I know that sometimes people will ask me, and I don't know if they do this for you, like, are you still working on that? Whatever, and I'm like, yep, pretty much. And they're like, well, what do you expect out of that? And I'm like, I don't know just yet, but it feels good to me. It feels so natural. It feels like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I have peace. I feel satisfied. I have a fulfillment like no other. Like, can you just help me, in that aspect, just to support how I'm feeling? But, after a while, you just like, you close those voices up and you're just like, you know what? This is not for them.
Yeah.
This is for me. Right. So how does that, work in the way that you're kind of, setting people up for that? They have a little dream, so they call little dream, right? And I don't like the word little when it comes to business, because I'm like, nothing I do is little. But they have this dream, and then they want to see it to fruition. Like, and you're the big, you're the cheerleader. So
some things you just also chisel one thing at a time. So like when I retired, we started JNS Home Repair back in 2009, but it has gone through a lot of different stages. So when we started JNS Home Repair, it was my husband and my father-in-law.
Mm.
And as our boy got older, he also helped with work between school and all those kind of things. But just as the time went on, then my father-in-law passed away and our boy grew up. So James also got picked up as a subcontractor out at the paper mill in Prattville. So he was back to punching a clock for somebody else. So when I retired, and then about a year later, when I started health and wellness, back to personal training and started my own thing, so I didn't punch a clock. My first mission was we need to fill the gap so James can tell those folks at the mill, peace out. I am not coming back. Like
Right.
I am not working for anybody but us. So that was mission one, and mission was accomplished. And that's why, you were able to say neither one of them go to work, have a boss, punch a clock. Like that was mission accomplished.
Right.
So first thing I have to say is I do not care how far-fetched it seems, how big it seems, how everybody else is looking at you like there is no way y'all can totally be self-sustaining or retired at 50 and 53. And you can. Like just because it's not normal doesn't mean it's not right. We are taught to be comfortably compliant.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I'm about to put it in the comments. Go ahead.
comfortably compliant because you are supposed to show up for work on Monday and clock out on Friday with a happy little smile to enjoy your 2 days we're giving you off so that you can punch back in on Monday. Like we are supposed to be comfortable in that. And yes, I know even, we're told to learn to be content in what we have. And I am. I am grateful for absolutely everything I have. But I also know there is a life of abundance. And I am
Yes.
absolutely content with what I have. And I am grateful for everything we have. But it doesn't mean I cannot dream of the abundance. And I'm going to
Yes.
promise you guys, listen to me when I'm talking about that abundant mindset. When it said you will have life and you'll have it more abundantly, that
Yeah.
means all of life. If you love hard, it means you're going to get hurt hard. If you climb for the top, there's times you're going to fall. Like for everything that is abundantly big, there's also an abundantly small. So don't think that it is not a climb or that you're not going to fall. There are days we have a pity party or we could just burn down the whole business. But that is just that abundantly small moment because we are promised life and life abundantly. And that means every moment, every
Yes.
moment.
It
So
sure
you work
does.
hard, you fall, you fail, you get up.
Yes. It's resonating with everyone here. Leslie, welcome to the talk show. She says comfortably compliant, and she's got the bomb and the
That's what we're trained to do.
like
Yeah, that's what we're trained to do.
And now business. And Misty says, she said, I think the bigger the better. If you have the desire to make it happen, it will happen.
Yes, Misty, 1000%. Now I do have to say, if you want it, you are also going to be tested anytime. I promise you, anytime you want bigger, you want different, you want better, something is going to test to see how bad do you want it? Because somebody's going to tell you it's a crazy idea or it can't be done or ain't never been done. And you know what? At one point, they also said nobody could run faster than a 4-minute mile. And
That's
now
right.
people do it all the time. Matter of fact, even doctors would say, if you put that kind of stress on a human body, you would have a heart attack. Your heart would explode. Your lungs can't take it. And now people run faster than a 5-minute mile all the time. So it's only impossible until it's not. But you got to do the work. You think somebody busted a 5-minute mile just practicing 3 hours once a week?
Girl,
you can't get good at something. You can do it full time, you can do it part time, but you can't do it sometimes. Even like you're talking about fitness and nutrition. Do you think you're going to get better results if you work out 30 minutes every day or if you just do 3 hours on Saturday? The time is the same, but the outcome is epically different.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with any business, any dream. If you put just little bits of it in every day, the impact is far greater than if you're like, okay, I'm going to drill down on it for 3 hours on Saturday.
Yeah. Man, you just y'all, she dropping so many gems in here. Y'all better pay attention because I'm like, yes, it's mind-boggling for me too to know that people are just so stuck in that whole mindset of this can't work or this can't happen or this is not going, this is not going to be what it is. But people realize their dreams every single
Every
day.
day.
So why can't it be you too? You know what I mean?
And I'm going to say, I would really address what you are feeding yourself. What are you reading? What are you watching? And who are you listening to?
Woof.
Because I'm telling you, if you listen to people like Rochelle and Misty and tune into these slays and feed your mind with those books about, miracle morning and mindset and all those things, and surround yourself with people who are going for it, who know it's hard, but do it anyway, who fall and get up 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, because you are going to have people in your life. And I'm not saying you have to cut them out for the rest of your life, but there are voices that are going to make it so much harder. And they're
Yes.
probably not the ones you need to surround yourself with. So if your goal is to write a book, start a podcast, be a personal trainer, go back to school, get a doctorate, whatever that is for you. If your choice is Friday night I study, or Friday night I practice, or Friday night I take a pop quiz, or Friday night I need to get on a Zoom and study with my buddies, or I need to sit down at the typewriter, start writing my book, whatever that is, or your friends call up and say, hey, we're going clubbing, want to go? Ooh, that is where you show up or you don't. You're going to
Yeah.
show up or you won't.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just walk this on back, okay? So that's because
Yes.
that is a lot. Okay, first of all, I acknowledge we've got some folks in here dropping some comments in here. So Dwayne says, after 41 years in the Corps, I had to look at myself the way God looked at me. With him,
Amen.
I know with him, all things are possible. He's
Yes.
always dropping these things in here for us to
Amen.
be
Amen.
reminded of. And then, of course, Leslie says, absolutely. She is on board with all what we're speaking to. And Dwayne also said, walk with wise and become wise.
Yes.
Yeah, sage
Amen.
advice. And then Chevy also said, keyword, surround yourself with people who are where you are trying to go.
Yes. Because you want, Chevy, one of the coolest quotes out there is, if you want to be a millionaire and you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th.
So, we're going to find us some millionaires,
Yes, ma'am.
And then Misty also wrote out a comment. People who are determined don't hear the negativity. I believe that is a reflection of their own self-esteem issues, not mine.
Right. Oh, Misty. Yes.
I know. So,
Guys, love it.
and
Love it,
it's
love it.
so absolutely true. So I'm going to show you, okay, y'all, of something that I found out today. Okay, this is for me working at something for a minute. Okay,
Nice.
and most of y'all know that I just got my degree in a master's degree in strategic leadership, but I also got this certification image consultant that I just found out that I passed the test. And it wasn't necessarily for, just to get the certificate. It's because I'm that type of person who likes to learn more, to explore my interests, to dive into things that I have never seen before, to really help those that have come to you about the things that they're trying to improve on themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. And I was so proud that I just took the time out and just to really focus on let's just do this certification. It's 6 weeks, but I'm going to do it, And then when you do, you're like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're constantly in this flow of energy of let me try my best to be the better version of myself. So I absolutely love when you say, that it really does start with us. And we have to be able to put in these little small steps every single day and give ourselves the space that we need. And so, all in that. And I also want us to start talking too about leadership because, leading yourself is probably the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, during your experience in the military, and I know you've gotten superintendent positions and so forth, like what are some of those leadership skills that that are transferable now that you have your businesses?
Wow. One, first off, it is managing you. Because
Oof.
one, when it's your time and your businesses and your vision, and like so much of it is not controlled by anybody else. So when you talk about self-leadership, you are not going anywhere unless you can lead yourself well, because you're going to be the first person that if you are looking for an excuse, you will find 1,000 of them. If you say, okay, tomorrow I need to get up at 5 and I need to do this, one, purpose is an amazing alarm clock. You know that as
Yes.
well as anybody.
Yes.
Purpose is an amazing alarm clock, but it's also easy knowing we are managing ourselves, that alarm goes off at 5 and you're like, it's 19 degrees outside. This is Alabama. This is stupid. I don't want to get up. I don't even want to go out. Like, who does this? Like, why is the north creeping into my south? And you can find excuses. So you have to be able to lead yourself well, turn off the noise and say, you know what? I'm going to do it because I said I would.
Yeah.
You promised yourself this was an appointment, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever that is. And guess what? Bosses show up.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the biggest lesson is leading yourself, because I don't know. I think a lot of times, to me, leading others was easier.
Yeah, it is.
To
It
me,
is.
it was way
Yeah.
easier.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. And then just realizing, like, I think probably everybody on here, whether you're military or corporate or wherever you were from, most of us, I think, have flown, traveled, done TDYs, business trips, whatever. And like the coolest analogy is that stinking moving sidewalk. You see people in the airport and you have some people that just walk on the little walkway right next to the moving sidewalk.
Yep.
Some get on the sidewalk, and even on the sidewalk, they are hitting and getting, buddy. You're like, must be late for a flight.
Yeah.
But they are booking. And then you have those, they're on the moving sidewalk and they're leaned on the railing, checking TikTok. Like they're just along for the ride.
Yep.
And they're going to get there when they get there. Anything we do is like that. There's going to be people that are on the moving sidewalk, then they are booking. And there's ones just they're along for the ride. Those are probably my comfortably compliance. And then there's those walking next to the walking sidewalk because they want to get there, but they're going to get there when it's their time.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people are never even going to get on the flight. Y'all have been there where you're sitting in the airport and you hear the little announcement, Jimmy Jones, last call, doors are closing, we won't reopen. And we don't know if he missed a connecting flight, didn't make it to the airport, slept in late. We don't know. But
Right.
guess what? Even if Jimmy is not on that plane, that bad boy is taken off.
It's
And that's
gone.
the same with your business or anybody's dream, book. They want to play an instrument. Like, you need to take off. Your plane leaves the station no matter who got on it.
Mm-hmm.
It don't even matter. Wheels up. Wheels
Yeah.
up. Go anyway.
Yeah. And it really is just diving in. It's
Yeah.
just get in it and learn and figure out what it is that you need to be doing. One of my words that I like to use a lot is intentional. Like, I am very intentional with my time and who I spend it with and how I spend it with. And at any point, I get to make a decision on whether or not I want to continue to do what I am doing. Things that are not inspiring, I just have to let these things go. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that case when we were in the military, where we just had to do whatever we were told or where we went to. So I am in that mindset too. Like leaders, we have a what do you call it? Like a duty, if you will, or a responsibility to take on things that we ourselves are saying that we want to do, right? So the accountability for ourselves. And it may be a little bit difficult for some people who have been transitioned because, you know, just let's be honest. You can probably sleep in till 2 or 3 o'clock in the or in the afternoon if you wanted to.
Now, would it be good for my business or my goals or my vision? Probably not. And I'm not saying never take that day. We go
Yeah.
on vacation. There may be times that, we're like, we can probably just like chill till like 6 tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there are days,
Oh
but
yeah.
like I said, you have a choice to show up for yourself every day or like just cram it all in 3 hours on a Saturday. That's not an epic plan. You know
No,
what I
this
mean?
is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah. And
And
go ahead.
like, and I would say you probably do this. Like after a session or a podcast or anything, it's almost like an ingrained, and like for lack of a better word, your own hot wash. Okay, what went really good?
Mm-hmm.
What was not so good? What do I
Yeah.
need to keep doing? What do I
Yeah.
really not need to do again? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What can I start doing? Because
Yeah.
man, this came up. And if I did that every time, like we almost hot wash ourselves, whether it's, you know, really anything you do, anything you do. And I
Yeah.
think it's just, I don't know, for some of us, that's just ingrained, like, because we don't want it to stay the same. Because
No.
there's two choices. Like, nothing really stays right here. It either ends up in the past or you're going into the future. So it gets worse or it gets better, but it can't stay the same. So as I move into that next moment, what am I going to take with me as a lesson?
Right. So, you're speaking to that. Let's talk about that then. What are the lessons that you've learned in your entrepreneurship journey?
Oh my goodness, that list is like forever long. Okay. Number one is grateful for every client, whether it's in JNS home repair or in health and wellness, personal training. One is grateful for everyone that trusts you.
Yeah.
Because in the world at large, people have not just a couple choices, they have dozens, if not hundreds of choices. And the fact that they trusted and asked you is for real a blessing. Do not take that for granted. Love on your clients, whoever they might be. If it's somebody buying a book, can you sign it? Can you send them a thank you note? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
love your people because they chose you for whatever reason, whether you inspired them, you touched them, you said something, you left them better, and be grateful for it.
Yeah.
And some will stay, some will go. But I do not believe for 1 second anyone comes in contact with us for no reason. Either they were to learn from us or we were to learn from them, but they left something with us and we left something with them. So whether it's a client for a minute or a client for a lifetime that becomes a friend, they're important.
Yeah.
So I think that is absolutely a huge piece. And two, you know what? Take the wins with the losses.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be losses. There are going to be lessons that you learn. Have your pity party, let it last a second, dust your little britches off, and just put that on your hot wash. Okay, that did not work.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we talked a lot through these on different episodes and so forth about, your lessons learned through entrepreneurship. And you've been in business for like literally, if you say 2009, right, for
Yep.
JNS home repair, and it's now 2024. I mean, I'm trying to do public math, but that's about, what, 15 years. right? And then you started your business for health and wellness, and that was in
17, yep.
2017. And I'll tell you, like I am so inspired by your tenacity and your consistency. When we were talking through, so networking, okay, so Leslie, she's going to pile on in because she's so such a fan, if you will, of networking and what those types of skills that you develop in networking. And when we were talking through and you had your list, right, and we were sitting on the Zoom call, remember we were doing like those power hours, and you had your list of people that you were like going to be contacting and doing. And here I am just starting out, and I'm just like, what are we doing? I don't even know what's going on. And so, like, this system that you've created for yourself to touch back with the clients, to, reach out to new clients and so forth. Like, how has that evolved?
Oh my goodness. Okay. One, it's crazy. And because Rochelle asking me to come on here already like flipped me right out of my comfort zone. You guys, I am really good one-on-one. I love people, but I'm not people-y. I am very much more to myself. If I have a cup of tea, a book, and a blanket, I would never need a human. But I love people. I love people hard. So I think for me, that love for people helps me with my clients because I am a fan of, I know people when they go to the mailbox, it's Bill, you've been pre-approved for the 500th loan. Somebody wants you to get vinyl siding for your brick house. Like you guys know what comes in mailboxes. It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So I love if I have a client, whether it's personal training, JNS, home repair, whatever it is, they get I appreciate your business. And because of that, when you love people, they love you back. People come at you like you come at them. Yeah. Just one time, try to come at somebody nasty and see how they come at you. Oh. Like they come at you, how you come at them.
Yes.
Like, it's a mirror. It bounces right back. So one, love on your people, whatever bubble you might be in, personal training, health and wellness, writing books, whatever, love on your people. But because of that, they'll love you back. I would say over 80% of our business is somebody told somebody who told somebody. We painted somebody's house, so they tell a friend who tells a friend. So it's a lot of word of mouth. And the same with health and wellness, personal training. If you love people, they will love you back.
Yeah.
Mostly. Now you have those odds and ends.
Yeah.
But mostly, if you love on people, they will love you back.
Today there was a perfect example of this. I was talking to Chevy and I said, man, I posted on Facebook, some of the posts that I post in LinkedIn. And, I get more love and support from Facebook than I do LinkedIn because in Facebook, they're your close family, your friends, colleagues, people that you've met in the past and you've been on this journey together. And I said, they love me on my Facebook page when I put it in there. And you have to be able to recognize that. And so for me, what I try my best to do is to give people a comment, every single time. Now, if there's a lot of comments, of course, I'm like, oh, Lord, thank you, everybody.
Heart.
Yeah. But
I saw it. I just can't respond.
Yeah. But when there's really like, okay, Rochelle, take the time to really thank these people who are saying that they love the post, that they like, what you're doing and so forth and so on. And it is it's a word by word of mouth. Everything that I have done, it hasn't been from advertising or anything. It's by word of mouth.
Yeah, James and I do not advertise.
Yeah. And even Dwayne said love never fails.
Amen.
So yeah, I know. See, he's taking us to church today, y'all. It is Sunday.
I love it. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, we are fearfully and abundantly made.
We are. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves that that's what we are. And Leslie says she used to have phone tree parties and that she needs to get back to that.
Yes, love on your people, Leslie. Love on some people.
Yeah.
And and people need that because if you look right now, oh my gosh, it just seems like everyone is in such a hurry, so angry, so agitated. Anxiety levels are through the roof. Like, people just need you to be kind. Be a good human. Be a good human.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I was at the commissary. See, I got a lot of stories that are related to what you're saying.
Come on.
I went to the commissary the day before yesterday. I forget what day it was. Anyways, they had a snowstorm out here, or what they call snowstorm.
Yeah.
So that, everybody goes shopping the night before, and it's like mass pandemonium. And a lady who was there, and the lines were long, okay, because everybody was there. She was so upset. She was just carrying on, and it was kind of like manifesting. And then all of a sudden, a couple other people that were in line were getting upset and riled up about it too. And I'm like, there's nothing that you can do about this. There's nothing that we're at the bane of how many people can actually scan your groceries. Okay. And they only have so much. Is there something else that you could be doing or saying to yourself
Yes.
to calm yourself down? And
Take it for what it is.
It is what
Like,
it is.
You have watched my stories when I travel, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's hysterical, y'all. If I travel, you need to get on my story train.
Yes.
Because, oh my word, the craziest stuff happens to me. Flat tires on the way, lost luggage. I'll get on a flight to get a text that my next flight doesn't even exist anymore because the plane was grounded. Like, I have the funniest travel stories, but I crack jokes. I put funny stuff in my stories, and people will comment like, oh my gosh, how are you still smiling?
Yeah.
Use joy, because literally I can't make there be another airplane. They'll fix it. They'll reschedule me, or I'll get online and I'll do it myself, whatever. Like, it's going to work out. Like, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But for me to get all bent 20 ways to Tuesday because I got a text on this flight that my next flight doesn't exist, y'all just breathe, choose joy. It'll be all right. To get all bent out of shape, like, it does nothing. But follow my stories when I travel is hysterical. Like, the stuff that happens to me, people are like, dude, what is with you? I don't know. But like I said, anytime you want something different, better, or bigger, there's going to be a test to see how bad you want it.
Yeah. And I love that concept. I just love that analogy too. Because I think most of the people that come to this show are very interested in being better, improving, impacting, positively impacting and influencing the world with what they have. And one of the best characteristics, I think, is just to be patient.
Yeah.
You have to be patient, and you have to be patient with what you're doing. So, the timelines, right? So,
the moving sidewalk or the walkers.
Yeah. You go into this timeline in the entrepreneur world, or even in your career, right? And it could be a long journey.
Yeah.
And what people kind of lose sight of is being patient, because it's about the timing, right?
Yeah.
The right time, the right opportunities, and you have to be ready for it. Like, I'm all big into staying ready to be ready, okay?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are not prepared
Correct.
for things that they want badly. And where you have to do is you have to stop and think about, are you seriously ready for the whole thing?
Military is a perfect example. You see somebody who's a senior airman chomping at the bit to be a staff and gets all bent out of shape because they don't get promoted, but so-and-so got promoted and so-and-so was on the list. And you're like, but buddy, what have you done? Like, if I made you a staff today, are you ready to be a staff or a tech or a master or a senior, whatever it is? You're like, because you see a fast burner, but you didn't get promoted. And you see that also even in Arbonne.
Yeah.
Your time is going to be when you grow into your leadership position, it will come. Mm-hmm. It is going to be what timing is for you. It doesn't mean it's never going to happen, but it's going to happen when it's supposed to. When you have grown into what that thing requires you to be. So it's becoming who you're meant to be, not the position. The position means squat. Mm-hmm. Who are you supposed to be? What are you supposed to be growing into? Where are you flourishing? A rank, a position, a title does not make you that. Because there's people who wear a rank or title or position and it don't fit.
It don't fit. It's not
It don't fit.
incongruent. It's out of
Hey, put
alignment.
that crown down for a little bit. It's too big right now. It's just
I
bobbling
hear
around. Wait till it fits, then put it back on.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so true. I'm all about like finding out the different elements of what business, even what retirement, what are all the aspects to retirement that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing, or oh, I
Right.
wasn't sure about that. It's constantly paying attention
Yeah.
to what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those are the things that you'll need to work on and to improve on. That's when you say when people just want to go into these ranks and they just want to be in there, it's they want the power. They want the authority. They want all the glitz and glamours.
Sometimes it's putting down the thing that we thought it was. We think we wanted to be this, or we thought we were supposed to be here. Have y'all ever seen that picture where it's Jesus and he's got this gigantic teddy bear behind his back, and in front of him there's this little girl standing there. She's holding this teeny tiny little teddy bear.
I haven't seen it.
It's like she doesn't want to give this up because this is what she really like. This is my favorite teddy bear. But this gigantic big gift is right behind his back. And it's that trading the one for the other. Like, do you have to sometimes give up the thing you think you wanted for the thing that truly belongs to you? That gift that like is just waiting if you put down this thing that you think is important. And there's this story where there's this little girl, she's at like this 5 and dime, and she saves up all her little pennies and quarters, all her little allowances and stuff to get this pretend pearl necklace because it's such a pretty necklace. And she covets it. She wears it all the time, except in the tub, because then the little, it'll turn green on the little metal threads that it's hung on because it's fake. It's from the 5 and dime.
Right.
And then the dad, almost every night at night, they pray and he reads her a story. He's like, hey, I have something for you. Can I trade you? She's like, oh, but daddy, I really love this pearl necklace. And then when she finally gives it up with like a little trembling chin and daddy gives her a real pearl necklace. And I think we're sometimes like that. We hold on to the thing we really think is important when we're just too scared to give up good for great. And that's scary. It is scary because we're like, oh, but I already have this and I don't know what that is.
Yeah. That's a gem dropper right there. Not being able to give up good for great.
Because we already know what this feels like.
Right.
But we don't know what that's going to feel like. And that's scary.
It is. It's uncertainty. It's risk.
Yeah.
And it's what we call the leap of faith.
Yep.
And taking a chance and just going for it anyway.
Like, what if it doesn't work? Oh, baby, but what if it does?
Yeah. Yeah. We don't
what
really
if
think
it
that
does?
our minds are programmed to think the negative thoughts immediately. Yeah. And we always have to counter it with more positive thoughts to it. So it's just like a natural, response to like, protect me. Protect me. That's not safe. We're going to fall off the deep end here. Everything is going to fall out the bottom.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what book it was in, but it was talking about mindset and how even when we try to talk ourselves out of something negative, the words we choose to use, like if we say, okay, just don't trip, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip. Our mind, boom, we trip. Or you tell a kid, don't spill the milk, don't spill the milk, don't spill the milk. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's just how we wire. Instead of saying, look, I can pour the milk really safely.
Yeah.
It's rewriting that script.
Yeah. There's power in words.
Yeah.
There's power in the words that we use to ourselves. Hey, Glenroy is, he dropped a comment here and it was about, people getting upset. He says anger spreads quickly over some of the simplest things. People will actually get upset about things that are supposed to be blessings because those things don't fit within their personal narratives.
Right on, dude. Drop it.
Yeah, I know.
That's real talk right there.
That is real talk. It's like, Oh yeah, like we
because
can have a
that seriously
whole,
happens.
yeah, a whole episode on that for sure. And then Kim is saying, re-emphasizing. So thank you, Kim, for being here. Thank you, Glenroy, for being here. Put down the things that hold you back.
Yeah, and it's
You
hard
know, it is hard, especially when
because
you have
these we
had,
already know what they feel like.
yes,
Yeah.
and I think one of the other things that, I've been struggling with during my transitioning is to really think about the way that I view money. Okay. Money for us in the military was like it's taboo because everything is given to us per
Yeah.
se. You get a house if you're living on base. You do have to pay, but they take it out of your paycheck. You don't have to really manage that. You're sent TDY, you're sent to conferences, you're sent to deployments. They give you all the stuff,
Yeah.
and then when you retire, you're like, whew, like I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do
I have
that.
to find my own life insurance.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it's like, what is
Dental
happening
plan.
here?
I have to find a dental plan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it took us
What?
months to kind of figure that out. Me and my husband are like, this is crap. We
Yeah.
served for so long, but you know what?
So we
It's
make half as much, and everything that was free, we now have to pay for.
exactly.
You're like, this is a ripoff.
Yeah, just like, what are we doing here? But going through the motions of really understanding the power of money and what money is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that I'm continually working on because it's a conditioning factor. It's
Yeah.
something that we have been told for a very long time that we got you. You ain't got to be worried about all this other stuff over here. And then when you do have to worry about all the stuff over here, you're like, oh, I don't know. How are you going to make it? You're going to make it. All right. You're going to make it. But it's just one of those mindset
Yep.
shifts or a mental shift that you have to have. And Kim says it too. Military was a comfort blanket for most of us. It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
And they make it to be first and the 15th, right? You get your
Yep.
paycheck and you know what's coming. Even when everybody else has gotten a riff, you're in the uniform. You know you're gonna get your money,
Yep.
right? And so, what is it that you can do to, find out ways to release yourself from that they're gonna take care of everything. They're gonna do all the things, right? And these are just ideas. These are just ways to kind of view how you are living this life that we know is, if you say it's abundance and if there's not scarcity, we then have to act and believe in that, right? We have to
Yeah.
trust ourselves.
And we need to understand, I think at large, we have this idea that because there's this many business owners and this many millionaires, that somehow there's like a cap to how many people can be successful.
Mhm.
Success does not happen by accident. It is on purpose. You have to, on purpose, show up.
Mm.
And like, you need to understand that just because there are other people who have succeeded, it doesn't make less room for you. There
Yeah.
is just as much room for you to succeed. Tell that to anybody who's trying to like franchise the 5 billionth Starbucks in Ilianos. Like, I live in tiny little Millbrook, Alabama, and we have like no less than 15 daggone coffee shops. Please know the next Ilianos is still going to succeed. The next Starbucks is not going to go bankrupt because there's 2 other Starbucks.
Right. Yeah, it is true. And Leslie reminds us because I'm on Clubhouse in the morning, and one of the things that she talks about is the restaurant business. There's a Wendy's across the street from a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And they're both getting business.
Oh yeah, packed.
Packed. And they
Which
probably,
this health and wellness girl is sick about.
yes.
Like, I'm like, why is the line around the building at 6:15 in the morning? Like, what is going on? And then they're
Well,
like, but I got diabetes. Get out of the McDonald's line at 6 o'clock in the morning. Lord help us.
Yeah. Well, you're saving souls through health and wellness. And we love you for that, because that's what you're so passionate about. And, in your health and wellness business that you're doing, like, absolutely amazing. And so I just love watching you move and navigate through that. But yeah, y'all, we talked about self-leadership. We talked about, health and wellness and mindset, a little bit of mindset, a little bit about entrepreneurship. So I do want to ask you one question. So that's the other thing that I talk about is personal branding. And personal branding is about you. All right. And so, in your own words, or kind of what your definition to you of what is it that you are known for?
Oh
Or
my
what
goodness.
do you want to be known for?
Wow. Okay. First, I am just authentically me. I am 53. I'm a mom. I'm kind of dorky. I like really goofy jokes. I love math. Like, I just show up as me.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point, I think, in my life where I'm like, not everybody is for everybody.
Yep.
And there are people who are going to love you because you're you. And there are people who are really not going to like you because you're you. Those are not your people. And it's okay. They don't have to be your people. If you show up authentically you, your people will find you. Look at Rochelle. We totally gravitate towards her.
Oh,
We love her. She is power. Like, she amps me up every day. But there are also people who don't like her for that exact same reason.
exactly. They sure
For
don't.
some people, she's just too much. For me,
much.
she's just right. And that's your brand. You are
Yeah.
going to find your people when you show up as you. If you try to be Rochelle, if you try to be somebody you hear on a podcast, if you try to be your supervisor, your people aren't going to show up because they haven't found you.
Yeah.
If you show up as you, they'll find you. If you show up as somebody else, they're never going to find you.
No, because there's too many people who are taking on their personas, other people's personas.
Yeah.
And we can see right through that. It doesn't come off right. I just don't even understand what they're saying or why they're saying it. It's almost as if they don't even trust in themselves. They don't believe in their whole body. They don't believe in their mind. They don't believe in their spirit. They don't believe anything is true. So what they'll do is suppress it and say, you know what? If I show up as me, no one's going to really like me,
But
and
they
I want to be
will.
liked,
But they will. Because
you
your
know?
people are out there. And I'm telling you, if you follow me, I am all over the charts. I am sourdough. I am motorcycles. I am fitness. I am recipes. I am totally goofy and dorky and off the cuff. And I am in 1,000 directions.
Yeah.
But somehow my people still
We
find
show up
me.
for you, Queen. Because I
They're
was like,
still
there goes
there.
that.
Even people like me are still there.
Yeah. And then
But
that's
yeah.
so, it's such sage advice and just good words for people to kind of, listen to again if they already know that. Or for anyone who's just like, you know what, that's new. Yeah. It's you. The personal branding is about you.
Yes.
And when I talk about a lot of different aspects of personal branding, but I love it when you say your people will find you.
Yeah.
Right. And, Glenn Roy says, none of my business if people don't like me. That's their burden to bear.
Amen.
Right. Because they don't even know Glenroy, right? I know you, and who could not love you? But it's true. Everybody has a group of people who are looking on the sidelines like, nah, I don't like them. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
That's okay. That's fine.
Because you know what? Those are also going to be the voices who, because for whatever reason, they don't believe in what you're after or what you're doing or your mission or your purpose. They're going to be the voices you don't want to hear anyway. So for them to not be in your corner, awesome.
Yeah. Like
less noise. Because there's enough noise. There's enough noise.
There is.
We don't need to
really
let them be part of it.
All right, Queen. Well, we've been on here for a little bit over an hour. So, are there any other words of wisdom, because that's all you drop, that you want to share with the audience before we slide out of here for the night?
Yeah. One, I love you big. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank
And then
you.
for anybody, one, be you, but be you on purpose. Like purpose probably is my favorite word ever
Yeah.
because we are made with a purpose for a purpose. So just be you and be you on purpose and show up on purpose.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to write that into the comments just because I just love that. And y'all heard it from here, y'all. Okay. So, Sass, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here with me tonight and sharing on this stage. And for all my guests that came in and, put comments into the chat here and just sharing your time, because you could be in anywhere else, but you decided that you want to spend a little bit of time here on a Slate to Success talk show. And I am so appreciative that you are here. And Chevy said, be you on purpose. Leslie says, be you, be bold, and brag courageously.
I love that. Yes,
Yes.
Leslie,
So,
go.
so Leslie, go ahead and put into the comments, if you will, what brag stands for. She's a big acronym junkie
Ooh, that
like me.
means something. Yeah.
Yeah,
What is that
oh
for,
yeah.
Leslie?
Yeah, so she'll put it in the comments because, sometimes as women, we don't want to brag on ourselves, or we think
Right.
that it's just not um, okay for us because we're taught as young girls that you just stay in the
Be
corner and
modest. Yeah.
you let your brother take all the shine if you have a brother,
Yeah.
and so it could be a little bit, you know, off-putting if you're like, oh well, I don't know if I should brag or not, but yeah, you have. And so Dwayne says, be you, no one can do it better.
Right
Yes.
on.
And Chevy says, we need to brag all day.
And then what is it? Dr. Sue says you got to be you because nobody can be you like you or than you or something.
Yeah,
That
Dr.
whole
Seuss
Dr.
had it all.
Susie
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
I used to read all those books to AJ. Now I don't even know any words to it. It is be responsible, accountable for God's gifts.
Ooh, I'm writing it down because I love that. Love that. Love that.
See, Leslie, you just spreading this brag acronym around, and yeah,
Accountable for God's gifts. Amen. Because we
yeah,
all have them.
yeah, we do. We really do. And we just need to make sure that we hold on to them, and then we need to share them. Okay. I love that. And the gift is us.
Yeah.
Yes. See, everybody, y'all just showing up and just putting all this goodness into the
I
chat
love
too.
it.
So, we're going to drop off of here, y'all. If you liked it, you like it on the YouTube channel and you subscribe, and you also share, because you don't know who may need a blessing from this episode tonight. And Glenroy says he promotes his wife in public because she won't. There you go.
Yep.
That's a great man. All right. So keep on doing that for her.
Yes.
I love that. And then Leslie, of course, said, yes, Chevy. So thank you all for being here tonight. Keep
Thank
on
you.
slaying until you can't slay no more. We'll see you all next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have Latresa J. Miller, who will be here on next Sunday's show. So you do not want to miss out on that episode as well. All right, y'all. Love y'all. See you soon.
Good night.